Greetings, architects. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Lycan Legion, episode 25, Villa Planning. I'm going to continue work, at least building what is currently queued, and then I'll re-poll you guys about whether or not I should change the priority. But for now, filling in the overhead mountains and then building the basic structure here is what we're going to be doing. The other thing I thought is I might need more space for bedrooms, so I'm not going to finalize the wall here. I'll probably have it dip down this way where I can fit a few bedrooms in here. Something like that. In fact, I might not even want the bathroom or bathhouse in that section so that more bedrooms can be fit in. There are 5 senators from the Western Republic. So this is like think of it as like a very, very fancy apartment block that needs to house 5 senators. Also, very tired of this combat music, so let's go ahead and murder the turtles to make a stochastic sandwich. So for moving the bathhouse, perhaps what we could do is set it up like this so that there's a very narrow choke point here that leads to like more rooms back there. And if we take a look at the overhead mountain, there's space for like bedrooms and the like in this quadrant. In fact, I would go so far as to say maybe it makes more sense to move the archways up a bit so that there's more space behind for structures. Something like that. Where we have dining, recreation, this will be sort of a common area, bedrooms back here, and then bedrooms back there. So back here, I should plan it out a little bit more before I construct the inner walls. But we need 5 bedrooms. So one bedroom could be way back here. This one makes sense, right? This one's fine. And then perhaps trying to get a bedroom in this section and a bedroom in this section where like the hallway snakes around to the back bedroom, leaving only 3 bedrooms up front or 2 bedrooms up front, which is pretty doable. Are we? Yeah, we're turtle done. All right, cool. The arches are different. Yeah. I mean, it's. This is all in flux to be built. Another thing that we're going to want to do is remove this lime meteorite because it, of course, blocks where we're going to be building, and probably get rid of the primitive well here, as again, it blocks what we want to be building. All right, we do have some. I am not going to stop what they're currently doing. We do have some tending that needs done. Ionis and Lillipore. Okay. So what I'll probably end up doing is spending, let's say, maybe half an hour more. I think we'll have a lot of the layout of this set up and ready to go. And then I'll poll you guys to see if you want me to continue working on that project or to pivot and work on something else. I still hear turtles. You got up. Ray, how about you finish them off? Oh, you know what? They're already down. All right, Ray. We're going to set you to hunt. And we're going to finish them off. Guess we're going to have some turtle sandwiches. Another thing I might want to do is set up a dumping zone. I'm not going to go out of my way, but rotten corpses dumped here that are not human-like. Just because there's like rotten corpses in a butchery, and I don't really want them to stay there, as it, you know, it sort of flirts with lung rot. I'd rather not have lung rot. I know how strange that might sound, but, you know, lung rot's not for me, so we'll try to get the spellipedes out. Lillipore, why are you starving? Eat a simple meal. Like, this is a very solvable condition you have, and I am not to blame for it. So continuing the backfill here, let's get as much of the marble work done as possible. Lillipore still wounded with a bunch of punches, but that's only because they had a slave rebellion when we were all, you know, grouped up, doing stupid things. So this punch was from Ionis. As far as slave suppression goes, Ionis is the least suppressed. Actually, I think it was Ionis that rebelled, yeah, and got punched to hell by everyone. Lillipore just took a punch. That's, you know, pretty normal. Pretty normal stuff for us. Alright, the meteorite is gone. I think what I'll do, temporarily, is to do a limestone block cutting. Just to cut those limestone blocks, whether we turn it into art or something, I don't know. But we have tons and tons of marble, and I'm sure we're going to need more marble, as the Senator's Villa has to be pretty luxurious. It's the only way we can convince them to join us. So, a very luxurious villa is due. Is it worth making a stockpile of blocks here? I will, if continuing this project gets voted on. But I don't want to stockpile blocks here and then have you guys pivot and say, hey, make art, and then all of a sudden need the blocks over near where the art workshop is or something like that. I don't want to commit resources to a project that isn't necessarily on the books. Alright, we do have... How is it 1200? Okay, there it goes. I was like, how are we done? What do you want to research next? So there is tree sowing, which leads to chocolate, which might be interesting. There's heavy bridges and deep water heavy bridges. There is the remaining of cooking, which is stews. And then a bunch of the art, which we haven't yet done, which I think we're going to need at least some of that done prior to hosting. Oh, and that poll is like way wrong. Yeah. Wait, all of the... Hold on. Everything about that poll is wrong. I keep forgetting to reset these. There we go. That's what it should look like. We're probably going to need a whole bunch of art before we actually invite a senator in, because, yeah, they're used to a very plush existence. We don't necessarily agree with their mindset, but in order to gain influence with them, we have to, you know, we have to abide by it. The long and short of it is, our Lycan here, you know, they want life a little comfortable, but these are pretty modest. These are only, like, decent or slightly impressive bedrooms. They are all about working hard and merit and earning their way through the world, whereas the senators have grown soft and corrupt. But if we want their favor, we have to cater to the soft, corrupt senators. That's just the way it is. Mad Stallion. Okay. Elba. You... Oh, so okay. What is this? It is a relative raid. Got it. They have one powerful ranged weapon, mostly not. One thing I could do here. The Stallion is going to, probably go after them if it doesn't have a line of sight to me. I don't know if Canius can outrun the Stallion, especially with a lung scar. But one could try. Alright, mustering the defense. Whoops, that was a misclick. Alright, well that horse is really not much of a benefit. Where is their ranged? Not in this advanced group. Okay, so we can just start plugging away at them. Doesn't really matter who we hit. Any of them are worth capturing? That's not bad. Pretty fast walker, cyclically death, but they're missing way too many body parts to make it worth it. And they're going after the horse. Alright, with no valid path in, they're going to start breaking a path in. That's fine. I'd rather the walls broken than people hurt. There is a scorpion in play right now, so I'm gonna, I opened up a valid path into the base, and let's go ahead and close these doors. Wow, Maxis is still on his way over here. That took a while. Alright, this guy is about to get shredded. Bye-bye, little grasshopper. Alright, so the really dangerous bowman is taken care of. Maxis and all of the meleeers can leave, and I'm going to have my range team go out and clean up the remainder. With that said, there are some bodies that need hauling away. Thomas Ross, thanks for gifting out not only enough subs, but enough subs to have Twitch match some of it. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. I will drink to that. And speaking of drinking to that, let me unlock the Yoda stream cam. So these guys are gonna, like, break a random hole in our wall. That's what they do when they have no valid path. That's fine. And we're hauling the bodies away. And I'm not planning on doing anything with thick here. So the people out here just have some basic clubs. Shouldn't be much. I'm actually surprised they're not fleeing. I thought we probably would have killed a critical number of them already to have them flee, but I was wrong. But probably one more and it's done. Yep, there we go. Villa Shadows, goodbye. Thanks for stopping by. Neither of them are particularly great pawns, so I don't necessarily need to go for capture. Save that guy for execution? Ooh, well I would, but they're dead. Kawana, thank you for the gifted subs too. Yeah, as part of Subtober, as you may have noticed, Twitch is matching subs to some degree or another. So you gift enough and then Twitch will add a few extra. Not bad. Not bad at all. So thank you, Joker, too. Cheers. Alright, you guys want some art. I'm going to probably start from the bottom up. So I'm going to start with carvings, because it would be really nice to have reliefs in the Senator's Villa. Honestly, I should just call this a villa, not an insula. I'll just call it a villa. Alright, and poll is resolved. Oh, that was Darius, okay. I was like tabbed out and I heard the noise, and usually that's the noise, well, sometimes that's the noise of a wolf blood getting like critical damage. And I was like, oh no, who got hurt? Well, I was updating the priority. So let's see here. If I build one bedroom like that, that's pretty big. The other bedroom maybe like this, and then a snaking hallway back to a bedroom here. This bedroom is particularly large, but I might rectangular it off, like filling in some of this so it's a rectangle, not some weird shape. I think that would work. I don't know if the square footage of all the bedrooms are going to be identical, but as long as they're like roughly the same quality, that would be the main concern. Meaning that the last two bedrooms could, let me remove these plans. Could be, those are probably too big. Something like that. Additionally, the senators are going to need probably some outdoor space. Perhaps it could be a courtyard here, because I don't want them to get stuck indoors, as there's penalties for them to be stuck indoors, or alternatively, a courtyard out here in front. I think that makes more sense. Because a courtyard inside, nested in a building, isn't going to register as an outdoor space. So once the insect spawning locations are filled in, I will have a follow-up poll about priorities. The other thing is I don't yet have an artist workshop. I can temporarily put a tool cabinet here, or the artist workbench in the smithy, but I might want like a permanent one at some point, so that it can satisfy, you know, the workshop district. We still have not healed you, huh? Your crushed liver. That sounds rough, dude. The private houses don't have doors. They do have doors. They're invisible. There's a bunch of invisible stuff here. So there's invisible walls here and here. Enclosed space, enclosed space, enclosed space. Just because you can't see them doesn't mean they don't exist. Same with the barn. This is an actual formal barn because there's invisible doors there. So it looks like an open gate, but it isn't. All for aesthetic reasons. Alright, Darius is just about done with the flooring here to prevent there to be, you know, plants or crops or whatever growing in the void space between the walls. And there's not too many walls left to fill in. Should I continue building the villa or take another goal? So I'll have you guys vote. And if I commit to the villa, I'll probably continue building the villa until it is up to spec. Which is to say, adorned with enough art and luxuries that would satisfy a senator. It's a big ask. It's a big task, but I'm happy to take it on if that's what you guys want. Poll's not showing. I beg to differ. I see you say never mind. Yeah, it's okay. It's up there. I'll put 5 minutes on the clock. There's still a lot of damage from previous raids that we haven't repaired, like this hand tailor bench, which is like completely smashed to bits. We'll probably have to do something about that at some point. And then I'm also worried about the amount of stone blocks that are going to be required to actually finish this project. But I am not beleaguered. I will work very hard until it's done. I think another thing that we're going to probably end up doing is mining all of the blocks so that it's all... Oh, that's plants. It's all cut stone so that it doesn't look patched together. Even though smooth walls are like functionally nicer, it's not possible to have everything as smooth walls. So, that will be a considerable additional amount of mining and cut stone. But it's, you know, the requirements made of the senators. Ambrosia Zone 9. Holy moly. I'll try to think of interesting things to do with the void spaces as well. Oh, a war merchant from the Eastern Republic. I was actually hoping to buy some arms and armor from them, as I don't really know how to make my own. So with any luck, they'll have some in stock that will be useful for my warriors. Although it's probably pretty safe to call this poll early, I'm going to leave it up for the full 5. What, they came with polar bears? Holy hell. Well, lucky for me, Darius has a inspired trade going into this. Adolms, thank you for the resub too. So get rid of some of our worst weapons. I'm going to keep the flame bow, of course. Old tribal wear. I don't see them bringing in armor. They do have a great crossbow, but they really just don't have gear. Truly. There's nothing here. So I think what we're going to have to do is when we offer our services to the senators, we'll probably have to go and buy some decent gear, because I'm not willing to commit our founding members to running errands for the senators if they're ill-equipped. You know, I don't want to endanger them needlessly. And sending them in with, you know, wearing togas is nothing short of somewhat suicidal. So, we're going to have to make some changes. Oh boy. I am actually slightly worried about the harvest that will be the corn here. We fell behind a little bit on our vegetable production, and I feel like I overcompensated by a slight degree. Future me will shudder at the amount of vegetables that I have to deal with, but for now, you know, I'm going to ignore it. Popcorn for years? Yeah. Exactly. We're gonna be the werewolves of the corn. At this point, we have enough veg... Oh, we have a Manhunter pack. We have enough veg that I can transition back to simple meals made out of veg, not meat. As there's, like, plenty of vegetables available. What do we got? More tortoises? Yeah, of course. Of freaking course. Well, it's good firing practice for our wannabe hunters, so I'm gonna leave them out here and just firing away. I'm also going to make the decision not to bring Maxis because he probably moves at about turtle speed. And I don't really need the turtles like outrunning him. That's probably dangerous for him. Poor Maxis? Yeah. There's really nothing we can do but offer him like a comfortable retirement at this point. Alright, timer's up. We're going to continue the villa. In fact, the timer ran overtime. Got it. That will be my my singular focus until it's respectable. find it better to just fire at the closest ones and queue them up like I just did. Where you have like all of your shooters shooting the same target. It's not good for DPS, but for some enemies like these, there's a bit of a benefit to just like reducing their numbers. It's better when they're shooters, less when they're meleeers, when they can't reach you, but still. Rogi's like, ha, you're so slow. I'm not even scared. Well, I hope my my people like tortoise meat, because that's going to be on the menu for a while now, I think. And that thread is done. Lizard skin. So as far as clothing goes, when it comes to beauty, it's like Tyrion or bust. So the senators that are coming in are going to be adorned in the nicest garments that we can offer them. And role-playing here, their demands will increase over time. So initially, they might only demand, you know, very impressive or extremely impressive bedroom. But as there is more of them, their demands will increase. So we have to meet their demands, their ever-increasing demands, to keep them satisfied, to keep them part of our colony. And that's part of the struggle. I think I like this layout. Having a common room here will work for me. So I'm going to commit to this. I want to fill the voids of the insects first. But I'll commit to this design, as I think it's good enough. So other things we're going to need to do is to pull in plumbing and to potentially increase the amount of water that we can provide, because our water tower doesn't have as much water as it probably needs, right? Like, we can't run out of water with the senators here. That would be super disgraceful. So I'm gonna put in a new well here, and then increase our well pump jacks back here to meet our ever-increasing demand for water. And the same is going to be true of, oh, that should be next to one another. The same is going to be true of our ever-increasing demand for heat. Because, especially the villas that we're building, well, they're going to be, like, big and lush and everything, right? So they're going to be heated. They're very inefficient to heat, and we're going to need to compensate for that by adding a lot of capacity to our water heating and our water pumping. Marriage is on between Maxis and Tranlery. Interesting. Our torch is my only light source. I have skylights, of course. So the reason I'm not using skylights, as I'm sure I've mentioned, is that our werewolves, our lycanthropes here, a lot of them don't like natural sunlight. It bothers them. They don't mind torchlight, but the UV, not so good on their eyes. So I haven't been adding skylights around the base because they use these spaces. So I'm only really using them in the greenhouse because the greenhouse needs, obviously, sunlight. But for the rest of the spaces, except for the slaves' quarters and prisons' quarters, where they typically aren't lycanthropes, I'm using torches so that it doesn't harm them. Now, as time goes on, we may also assume that our original 4 lycanthropes will stop taking sort of low work. And by low work, I mean cooking, butchering, cleaning, that kind of thing. And when that happens, we can start to transition away from torches to skylights because they're not going to frequent spaces where plebeians and slaves are. That makes sense. So in the villa, yes, a lot of it can be skylit with sunlight. But at night, it still needs to be lit, probably with torches as well, because obviously being in the dark is a problem. Our senators don't want to be in the dark. I mean, I don't blame them. We did research... Oh, a bulk trader. We did research carpets. So another thing that we could start to put in here is carpets. I'm probably not going to have carpets in common areas, high traffic areas, but carpets in individual bedrooms and the like make a bit of sense. All right, so this is 55 sized. This is 66. It'd be 55 if it was like that. Maybe what I'll do is I'll actually backfill the back a little bit, just to keep things fair. Or alternatively, I can have it be 55 or 54 like this, putting a wall in here or something. But yeah, this one could be more grand. Maybe it will be the first one, the early adopter of living in our area. This is going to be roughly 55. Of course, it's not actually rectangular. And then these are the back walls to these can be like that. So now I could commit to putting down the final enclosures, I think. I am going to chance these bulk traders sticking around until the morning so that... Actually, you know what? Silver is not that much of a problem. So, Ray, how about you go trade? So we have all this kibble, but I don't really need to part with kibble. Oh, we have our first... Oh, right. We already had our batch of cheese. I already knew that. More Tyrian fabric, for sure. And then I'll part with some of the fabrics we don't need to be stockpiling. At some point, I will commit... Oh, that's a lot of wool. Let's do 125 of the 139, so we can toque it. Because if we can phase out cloth toques in lieu of wool ones, we meaning the citizens, will stay considerably warmer, I think. I have a lot of herbal meds. I'll sell 100 of them, because I don't think we're going to use 333 before we end up losing them all to rot. And I'll sell some of the eggs as well. You know, I'm actually going to sell the milk, because the milk is way more likely to spoil before we can use it. So I'm going to sell all the milk. Pretty good trade, and dismissed. So I have plans for how the senators are catered to. So I don't necessarily want to share all of that detail with you. It's, you know, like spoiling chapters in a book, chapters in advance. But just know that if you feel like it's missing something, it might be missing something on purpose and for a reason. So this ought to help out. We also might want another water tower at some point. I could actually put one back here pretty easily, but I'll consider that. Just to make sure that we have sufficient supplied water. I'll plop one there. It's not too expensive. If we're doubling our water generation, we might as well double our water storage. So these are female calves. So, we are done with the breeder barn. It has served its purpose, so we're going to clear all. And then put the cows back into the other two barns. Now that we have a decent supply of milk. I think for my sanity, I'm going to put the signposts like right next to the door so that I don't have to go hunt for him every time. Even though it's not like a good place to actually rope the animals, because sometimes they won't actually go into the barns when we rope them there, but whatever. It's gonna drive me crazy doing it another way. Alright, Tranlery, I want you doing something else. I admire your dedication to quarrying up granite, or marble rather. But we have construction projects to be done. So let's take a look at that. Tranlery. So Canius and Rogi are going to get off of high priority hauling so that they can continue constructing. I don't remember them being this good at construction. Do you? Is it just me, or did that like come out of nowhere? I know we do a lot of large scale construction projects, so maybe it's not like abnormal, but I feel like it's, I don't know. I didn't expect them to be that good. Caught me by surprise. Okay, the cows are where they need to be, sort of. There we go. Change the color of the pen markers if it's possible. Yeah, I could dye them. I do have Tinctoria, don't I? Yes. They will definitely stand out better. Changed colors. And I sort of color-coded it so that I can tell male from female at a glance. Oop, that was the opposite I meant to do. Okay. Thank you for tuning in to RimWorld Lycan Legion, which originally streamed live on Twitch September 29th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow Lycan.